Welcome back, and when we last left off we were milling some more plugs, and this is another one. So this was over the weekend actually. So this one is the plug that's going to make up the door for the nose compartment, and right now you can see it's just running the ball mill there and just finishing off that flange, and that kind of has a convex or concave curve in it, so it's using the ball mill to do that transition, because if I used the flat end it would sort of gouge it. The rest of it was all cut with the flat mill, and everything came out nice on that. And here's the moment we've all been waiting for. This is one of the door inserts released from its plug. Still needs to be cleaned up on the edges, but you can kind of see what's going on there. We have sort of the rubber profile going only halfway around it, and there's going to be all sorts of bits cleaned off and other bits that need to stay, and there's little transition pieces that we need to sort of still do. But anyway, it came out nicely. So this is the one for the right hand door, and there's Keith there just pulling out the rubber profile that we're going to be using, eventually when we bag these things with the silicone rubber bag instead of using the regular stretch plastic bag that we normally use when we're laying out parts. So yep, happy to see that, and next thing is to see if it fits. And here's the plug for the nose compartment door off the machine, and sort of all the rest of the foam all sort of cleaned up and just about ready to have a layer of fiberglass put on there, so we can get the putty on there and get it back on the machine for a final milling. So here's the right hand door insert again, and it's been trimmed off. Most of the trim work done there. Still needs a little bit of cleanup around some of the edges, but you can kind of see what flange is remaining and what flange we don't need anymore because of where it will mate up with the roof. And here's another plug that was done over the weekend, and this one is for two braces that are on either side of the nose gear, and they support the nose compartment door, but they also help the nose gear when it retracts to actually straighten up into the compartment there. So you'll see those get built later, and you'll see how they actually fit into the aircraft. And here's the guys putting a layer of fiberglass on that nose compartment door plug, and we're just using the regular heavy glass that we normally use. Nothing too complicated with that one. Didn't take very long. And the moment of truth, there is the right side door insert, and it's actually sort of just rough fit in there right now. We just have some drill bits actually lining up the holes, but all the holes lined up, the ones that we drilled on the machine. So that's one of the benefits of using CNC. Everything's super accurate. So it sits exactly where it needs to sit, and it fits very flush against the inside of the roof plug. So that's a big win for us to have that fit so nicely. I was kind of a little bit nervous, but until you get it done, but came out well. And so we have to do some transitions on the edges there for the flanges, and then a little bit more cleanup, and that'll be ready to lay the roof. And once again, here are those braces for the nose gear, and they've been glassed there, so they're ready to have some putty sprayed on them. It didn't take too long. The guys are just flying through these plugs now. A lot of these easy ones just go really quick. And here's the glare shield that we saw get laid up last week, and so the mold has been released from the plug. And even though you still have the black top coat in there, keep in mind it's fiberglass on the backside, so it's black there and kind of greeny color, fiberglass color on the other side. That came out well. And here's the other door insert. Well, actually both of the inserts now, mostly trimmed off. Still obviously need some more work because of the transitions, but basically mostly trimmed off. And so I had to spend quite a lot of time on that, tapping all the holes in there, because we had drilled them before, but we hadn't put any taps in there, or tapped the holes, to accept a thread. But now that's all done, and there's the other one put in there, and you see it fit nicely as well. And here's the three plugs about halfway through having their putty sprayed on them. So that's the nose compartment door plug, and the next one is the nose gear braces, and the last one, the 2 braces that help support the glare shield. And here's Keith doing a little bit of wet sanding on the mold for the glare shield, just to smooth off a couple of little rough areas, I think, that were on the flange. So it didn't take him long to get that sorted out, so it won't be long we'll be laying that up. And meanwhile, Devon and Zach have been sanding on these other 2 plugs for these little side braces that go in the rear of the cabin that we did last week. So and at the end of the day, you can see here they received another coat of primer, so they're just about ready to be waxed and be able to actually, pull the molds off of those, and they won't take long to lay up. They're pretty simple. And the plug for these glare shield braces got back on the machine, and that's pretty much done now. And it didn't take too long to do that one, so that'll be getting sanded and primed probably tomorrow. And the others will be up on the machine as well soon. And lastly, I wanted to show you the doors again. So both of them inserted and bolted in to the roof compartment. So as you can see, when we lay up the roof, we'll be laying up the frames of the doors, and that includes the hinge pockets and the kind of flange that goes around the bottom there that mates up with the lower half of the fuselage. And once we've laid it up, then we release the bolts. And then when we pop the part out, the frames come out with the actual part, and then we can release the frames from the part. Otherwise, everything would be jammed in there, and that's why they have to be separate pieces. But that's going to save us a ton of time, because instead of having to cut the door out of the fuselage, we're actually laying up the door frame when we lay up the fuselage. So these some of the things that we're doing, for production, that will really save us a lot of time in terms of how quickly we can produce the parts that we need to make each aircraft. And that's just a view there from the back, and it's kind of a little bit deceptive there. That's standing about 6 foot high, the top of that frame there. But anyway, the cabin's really large and going to be comfortable. Anyway, that's our update for the first half of this week. Thanks again for watching.